Assalamualaikum and hi. Today we are from Group 12. We'll present about food poisoning that is caused by contamination of Salmonella species.
So, what is Salmonella? Salmonella is bacteria that can cause illness called salmonellosis. It also can cause upset stomach, diarrhea, fever, and pain in the belly. These bacteria are the most frequently reported as causes of food-related illness and become a threat to food industry. Basically, the transmission of Salmonella to a susceptible host usually occurs via consumption of contaminated food and through close contact with infected animals such as cats. This is because both people and animals can carry salmonella in their intestine and their feces. Bacteria can spread through contamination food such as raw and other cooked meat and vegetable, unpasteurized meat and other dairy products, undercooked egg and processed food such as nugget. The illness that caused by salmonella can cause other complications. Next, there are many situations where the salmonella can spread through direct and indirect contact via their environment. First, salmonella can be found in many types of food as it can affect susceptible hosts through a variety of food including beef, chicken, vegetable, and even processed food. The salmonellosis is usually more common in the summer as it creates an ideal condition for salmonella to grow. That is why unrefrigerated food or leftover food is easy to affected by salmonella. Symptoms of infection can appear after 6 hours to 6 days after eating a contaminated food but depend on individual's body. The symptoms can be dangerous for kids, older people, and those who had a weakened immune system. Other than that, the salmonella can cause more illness than suspected, where there are some individuals that refuse to see a doctor when they are affected by salmonella. Lastly, salmonella can contaminate egg, even eat perfectly normal-looking ones. Ingestion of eggs become most common causes when people eat the egg raw or lightly cooked. For the epidemiology of Salmonella, the main transmission of Salmonella to susceptible hosts occur via consumption of contaminated food, where the most common are beef, poultry, and eggs. Next, human-to-human and animal-to-human transmission can also occur where Salmonellosis outbreaks have been associated with handling chick, duckling, and kitten. Most often, the transmission occurs due to unhygienic practice of careless processing, especially not washing hand during handling the food, and food is not properly washed. This unhygienic practice leads to cross-contamination as Salmonella species still can survive in an environment that has high content of nutrients and water. Lastly, undercooked and raw food should be also avoided as it can be main source of Salmonella outbreak.
Salmonellosis is a disease or toxicity effect that caused by Salmonella bacteria. In humans, most cases of toxicity caused by Salmonella enteritis and Salmonella typhimurium serotypes. Salmonella is typically transmitted to the fecal oral routes after infected feces come into contact with various food including raw meat, unpasteurized milk, poultry eggs, and crops. Salmonella can also be present on the skin of reptiles and birds and be transmitted to the contact with these animals. When the bacteria are ingested, they travel through the digestive tract, they invading and multiply in intestinal cells. Infected cells then release pro-inflammatory cytokine causing an inflammatory response. It leads to gastroenteritis causing abdominal pain and severe diarrhea. The bacteria can also enter the blood, termed as bacteremia, and causing enteric fever. From there, they can make their way to other organs like the liver, lungs, hearts, bones to cause focal salmonella infections. The signs and symptoms usually arise in humans between 12 to 72 hours after ingestion of the bacteria and typically last for 4 to 7 days. The symptoms include diarrhea, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, high fever, and headache. The treatment in salmonellosis in people is focused mainly on replenish body fluids and electrolytes to overcome dehydration. In some cases, hospitalization may be required to deliver fluids intravenously. Antibiotics are typically avoided because they may prolong the infection in less severe cases. However, if it is suspected that salmonella infection is focal or systemic, or if the patient is immunocompromised, antibiotic may be prescribed.
Hi, I'm Nur Syazrin and I will present about the regulation of avoidance for salmonella contamination. Salmonella contamination could be avoided by following advice on the 4C of food hygiene. First, cleaning. Effective cleaning can remove bacteria on hands, equipment, and surface. This can avoid harmful bacteria and viruses from spreading onto food. Example, clean wash hands with warm, soapy water for 20 seconds before and after handling uncooked eggs, raw meat, poultry, and seafood and their juices. Next, cross-contamination. Salmonella cross-contamination is most likely to happen when raw food touches or drips onto ready-to-eat food, utensil, or surfaces. Thus, we must use separate cutting boards and plates for produce and for raw meat, poultry, seafood, and eggs. Next, cooking. We should cook food at the right temperature and for the correct length of time, as cooking causes the proteins in bacteria to break up. So the proteins are no longer function and the bacteria die. People can check the advice on food packaging and follow the cooking instruction provided. Lastly, chilling. Chill, freeze, and defrost food properly can help stop harmful bacteria from growing. Some foods are needed to be kept in the fridge, as cold temperature in the fridge helps slow down bacteria growth and keep them fresh and safe for longer. Generally, the colder the temperature, the slower bacteria will grow. Next, government action. Government also involved in avoiding the salmonella contamination. FDA, Food and Drug Administration, inspect food processing plants that make food for people or animals. FDA also works with veterinarians and producers who raise food animals to use antibiotics wisely to slow down the development of antibiotic-resistant bacteria in food producing animals such as cows, pigs, and chicken. FDA also screens food that comes into the country from other countries. They also periodically test pet food and pet treats to look for salmonella. Lastly, FDA also works with the Department of Agriculture and the states to make sure that milk pasteurization plants are inspected. All this to avoid harmful effect to human by salmonella contamination.
In conclusion, food poisoning due to contamination by Salmonella species is one of the biggest concerns in the public health. So, the best prevention method suggested is a good hygiene practice applied with additional knowledge on the food safety. Therefore, everyone should take part in terms of this method to avoid any food poisoning cases from occurring in the future. That's all from us. Thank you.